Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord is a strategy-action role-playing game that likes to pretend to be a medieval dating sim. In this game, you are dropped into Calradia and have to rip and tear your way out. Bannerlord allows you to fight in battles, make friendships, and get rejected by women. There are many strategies to winning this game, ranging from waging a lightning war with your jolly group of rebels to simply asking nicely. No matter what games you like, Bannerlord has you covered. They've got anything from FPS to gambling to Dance Dance Revolution. This game will take you on the adventure of a lifetime, starting as a lowly peasant and ending as a sociopath. So let's start the video now. You begin your adventure into Bannerlord by making a character, and by that I mean you spend 7 hours trying to figure out which voice lines to use. After that, you are shown the cultures you can pick, and proceed to choose Battanian because that 50% speed bonus turns you into a anime reference. After you pick your culture, you pretend to care about your backstory and actually just stack perks. I don't know how I went from Chieftain's Guard to herding sheep, but that bonus is too good to ask questions. Now that the boring stuff is out of the way, let's get into the good stuff. The game feels like it is made of heroin. It's a legitimate challenge to try to find an aspect of this game that isn't fun. You can do blacksmithing, horse breeding, cargo trading, gladiator fighting, fetch questing, and so much more. This game is so full of content, it took me 200 hours of gameplay to realize you can give birth. But the main element of this game is maintaining and fighting with an army of fellow terrorists. These men of questionable sanity will require a wage. You can make this money from a wide range of sources, such as being a mercenary, selling reacquired goods, or even starting a pyramid scheme. Do not look up guides on making money. Every person has a different fanatical ideology on how to make the most amount of money that they are willing to kill over, so you're just better off selling loot. Yes, I could spend half the game leveling up my smith skill by constructing 2 billion knives, but I could also not do that and have 10 times more fun. Back on the topic of sports betting, to sports bet, you must get in a ring yourself and fight in a tournament. These tournaments vary region by region and vary from satisfying combat challenges to literally rigged. What I mean is that usually it's up to your skill if you win or not, unless you lose, in which case it was 100% RNG based. But if you're paired up with an AI, it's up to them whether or not they will be competent or if they will roleplay a lobotomized person. After winning a tournament, you get your sports betting money and some clout. This clout gives you cool person points, the same way as subscribing to my channel. These points can be used to pass laws or reject laws or get thieves or reject thieves. After some completely legal acquisition of money, you can buy weaponry. This is another strong suit of the game. Instead of just defaulting to the best weapon, you are incentivized to pick a weapon that best suits you. There is a type of weapon for everyone, including but not limited to melee enjoyers, horse connoisseurs, long-distance relationships, and Patrick Bateman. Back on the topic of money, you'll learn while playing this game that it's incredibly important. What's even more important is your drip. The stats on your armor do not matter. Always pick the ones that look the best. I honestly don't wear a helmet half the time because most of them look so garbage. But all these mechanics center around you and your clan. You can invite anyone into your clan and they will do their best to waste as much of your money as economically viable. You can find most of these recruitable people in the same place. You can find the best drivers, the bar. And just like the people that you recruit from the bar to give you a ride home, these companions will do their best to kill as many people on their journey with you as possible. After you get enough clout as a clan, a faction may invite you to be their vassal and to fight side by side with them in the coming civil war. Or you can book it enough that an entire empire gets convinced that your group of 5 men is totally worth 2,000 gold per day. Once you become a vassal to one of the big boys, you get a fief that you are morally obligated to ignore. At this point, you are also introduced to rebellions. No matter the circumstance, no matter how much money you spend on them, your citizens will always hate you and plot to rebel. Once they do not feel bad for them, as an army of 500 men goes to wipe out their militia of 50. After a revolted town is reconquered, you then have to explain to the nobles why you, out of all people, will 100% be able to hold on to it again without another revolution. This is what we call lying. After you feel like you are strong enough, you can also rebel yourself. This is usually the most memorable but also most stressful part of the game, as you are usually outnumbered by thousands of men and just sort of have to make do with that information. I'm not joking when I say this game really puts you in the mindset of a 1960s Viet Cong soldier. After about a few hours of gameplay, you may even develop a strong desire of using scorched earth techniques. All these mechanics are great, but let's ask the real questions. Like, where are we? Who is this? Why is this random old guy giving me his Persona banner? As the Mountain Blade lore is very convoluted and dense, I will make no effort to actually know the lore. Instead, I will just make up whatever I don't know and gaslight you into thinking it's correct. Let's start from the beginning. A long time ago, the Calradians did a little too much gaming and took over the continent. An era of peace and stability came where God's drunkest partygoers were free to leave the gas stove on before leaving. After they seized all Twitter HQ territory, they realized that they could win even harder if they just killed each other. What ensued was the Civil War, pitting all against all. Noticing this era of instability, the most Tradcath regions also declared their independence. When the game starts, you are faced with a world divided between 8 factions. I will now describe each as fast as I possibly can. The 3 empires. These are actually 3 separate factions, but they are so similar there is no point in making a difference. Each of these empires is like the children of a dying millionaire, desperately trying to inherit as much glory and wealth from their dead empire as possible. Their main strength is being so vanilla that you might actually die of overstimulation when you encounter a foreign enemy. Vlandia. These guys are the equivalent of the Russians, and just like the Russians, their only real strength is giving people guns and telling them to charge. I've never played as them, as by the time I get there from spawn, I've already been imprisoned twice and lost all my money. Azerai. This is vaguely North Africa and the Middle East. With their trade goods, you can declare a holy jihad on the treasury of every town. Battania. These people are most suitable for my playstyle, and I'd have 10 times more fun if I just played as them. Despite this, I haven't, because I am stubborn and I refuse to bend my knee for anyone named Caladog. Just like me when I was in elementary school, they specialize in guerrilla warfare and being a general pain in the ass. Kurzite. This one is for my throat-singing brethren. We ride till dawn and bring glory to Hyperborea. With this faction, you can roleplay as the Huns, the Mongols, or any kind of nomadic horse tribe. Stygia. Vikings are back, and this time they have given up on ships. They will simply just walk up to you when they want to kill you. No need for diplomacy with these guys. You kill them or they kill you. With factions out of the way, let's chat about the main element of this game. Combat is what you'll mainly remember this game for, and that's for a good reason. Combat feels like the game devs were banned from making a single bad decision. Shooting people in the head is fun, but in a satisfying, non-sociopathic way. Slashing people in the throat in the tournament and watching them bleed out is also fun, and they are definitely still alive, I swear guys. You'll be doing combat anywhere, from castles to fields to even the streets of downtown London. The devs even coded it in that the enemy will have different death animations depending on where you shoot them. Nobody asked them to do this. This was completely an act of passion. Winning an engagement completely depends on whether or not you replace your army with a nomadic group of horse archers. No, horse archers are not overpowered. You simply must learn to dodge all 100 arrows flying towards you every second. One time, I was outnumbered 3-1, but the AI forgot to take into account the fact that my army is completely made up of horse archers. Needless to say, I won that battle. Horse archers are so not overpowered that you can either spend your time learning strategy and proper military technique with normal units, or you can just learn to press F1 and then 3 and your horse archers will do the rest. One downfall of combat, however, is the crazy precision of the average looter. It is my headcanon that these lowly vagabonds with nothing to their name have surface-to-air missile targeting system technology. Melee combat is also really satisfying, especially when I win. You could theoretically fight 100 people alone, and depending on if you did meth that day, you could perhaps even win. Overall, combat is very well put together, and victory usually feels euphoric. If you know what you're doing, you'll have no trouble pulling off Napoleonic levels of strategic genius. Each time you do something deranged and risky, you are rewarded for it, so you are incentivized to act like an impatient crackhead most of the time. No matter what tactic you use, from horse archer spam to shield wall camping, you'll be sure to find victory satisfying. Bannerlord is absolutely unforgettable. Every aspect, from the phenomenal music to the great atmosphere, makes this game really addicting. I know I sound like a tailboard shell when I say all this, but Bannerlord is really just this good. There are plenty of mechanics I haven't covered that are completely game-changing, so I really recommend you play this game for yourself. In an industry where DLC are the main source of gameplay nowadays, having a game be finished from the purchase with free updates is a nice feeling. Of course, the game isn't perfect, no game is, but these people try to make sure that it's as perfect as it can get. On a completely unrelated news, we've got a couple new people here with us. Reports indicate that we went up by 12 subscribers, maybe even 13. But on a real note, thank you all for the support. More stuff like this is definitely on the way, so be sure to stick around. I promised a skincare routine at 420 subscribers, and as I write this, we are at 690 subscribers. So here goes. I wake up and wash my face with a cleaning product I call water. I also, around once per week, use Garnier charcoal cream to keep my head nice and black hat free. I suppose the next milestone we should shoot for is the incredible number of 1,000 subscribers.
Editor me from the future here again. You guys are awesome and did it again. We reached the goal before it was even set. This time I am going to set it high enough that I can actually release a video before we reach it. If we reach 10,000 subscribers, I will do a favorite shows reveal.
If you stuck around this far, I truly appreciate it. To show off that you are a dedicated viewer, write a comment ending with 2 full stops, so I know who the real ones are. But anyways, until my next inevitable upload, ciao!